Hello, guys! Cartoon Retro Boy 64 is here, and today I am staying home, and don't worry, I am staying home, and I'm at home right now, so I can't wait. Anyway, today's video we're gonna be talking about my top 10 favorite shows of all time, and you already know what my number one is because I mentioned it so many times on this goddamn channel that it doesn't even matter anymore because this show is amazing, and I know most people are SB fans, but we'll talk about that number one spot when we get there. So, yeah. But anyways, let me give you some honorable mentions actually. Number 15. Number 15 is Superhero Girls. Yeah, I know this is a surprise to most people, but I really like this show honestly. I wish they had more seasons and it continued like Teen Titans Go, honestly. Maybe if the show was more successful and had more episodes, I'm pretty sure this would have rivaled Teen Titans Go in my opinion, because I think this might be better than Teen Titans Go in my opinion. I may like Teen Titans Go, but honestly, I think Superhero Girls is much better with the animation. I love the episodes. I just think most of the show is really good. Though I think season 2 is the stronger season personally. So, actually, we'll do a follow up video about my favorite seasons of most of my favorite shows. So, we'll get there when we get there. Hold on, we gotta do one thing. As I was saying, Superhero Girls is really good. I love the animation. I love the stories. I love the comedy. Overall, this might be better than Teen Titans Go, honestly. And I wish this one was the one that got more seasons because Teen Titans Go is at 9 seasons. If this show existed in 2013 along with Teen Titans Go, this show probably would have been successful and got its own movie too. So I kind of wonder why didn't they just sort of not cancel the show, because honestly, this was a really good show, and it's not even on Amazon anymore, unfortunately, so I can't watch the show anymore. So that sucks. But at least the other entries, I can actually watch them on shows right now. I can watch all the episodes. Number 14. At least, number 2, honorable mention, and it's number 14 on the list. It's Littlest Pet Shop. Yeah, honestly, there's no surprise right now that Littlest Pet Shop, the 2012 show, is amazing. It's good, it has a lot of good comedy, I love the stories of the episodes, and it went on for 4 seasons, but I wish there was more because I think this would have elevated the show more if they had more seasons. But overall, Littlest Pet Shop is amazing and it has a lot of good comedy. I love the stories. I think the jokes are pretty fun. The animation is great, just like GF4 of My Little Pony. And overall, I think it's a solid show that people should really watch more on Tubi, honestly. Yes, you can watch on Tubi now instead of anywhere else, not even Amazon or Netflix. Now, what's the next show? Number 3 honorable mention is Bratz. Yeah, are you surprised? Well, so am I, but Bratz is actually a pretty good show that should have had its own generations because I'm surprised it only had 2 seasons and had so many video games, honestly. Because honestly, I wish this had more seasons. I wish this was big as TMFT, honestly. TMFT. Because or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which is the next entry, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, I just think this show, Bratz, is a great show that has a lot of good teenage jokes, a lot of good teenage animation. I love the stories of episodes. I do like the seasons, but I'm just sad that this show never got a reboot or any sequel series or anything like not Teen Titans Go, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did. Speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number my fourth honorable mention goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012. Yeah, this is the most nostalgic one out of all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shows because I absolutely love the 2012 show. This is exactly how you should do shows based on turtles, honestly. No TMFT, no TMFT, Team and TMFNT has ever topped this show for me, in my opinion. It really hasn't, because I feel like all the rest of them are not as great as this one, honestly. Not even the 2018 or the 2024 show, honestly. Which I know that sounds sad, but honestly, this is the where Team F, Team F, and T has peaked for me, because this is like it ran for 5 seasons, but honestly, my favorite season is probably the third season out of all of them, because I just love the stories of episodes, and I think it's the most creative and has a lot of good action. And yeah, you know what? I will say that it's the best season of the show. It has a lot. It just has a lot of good things about it. You know what's interesting is that most of my favorite seasons are either around season 3 or season 4 of a show, or sometimes the second season of a show. So expect a lot of entries to have a lot of my favorite seasons in there. Anyways, I think this show just has the best animation overall out of these shows. It's 3D and CGI, but I love it. It's just so 3D-ish. I love it. The most stylized one too. Not even SpongeBob can top this show when it comes to animation, because even though I love 2D animation of SpongeBob, TMF TMF NT just has this 3D just has this 3D animation that looks so good. I just love it. Not even the 3D SpongeBob animated movies can top this animation, honestly, in my opinion. Which is kind of sad, but I don't mind it. Anyway, I just think this show is just overall great. Amazing. Not in my top 10 though. Number and my fifth honorable mention as of right now is Monster High Gia 3. Let me just tell you right now, Gia 3 is amazing. It has, even though it ran for 2 seasons, I wish there was more seasons, honestly. Maybe it would have been, if it would have been higher if there was more seasons, honestly. Because it's kind of sad that it only got canceled after 2 seasons. But hopefully GF4 might be the best one, because considering My Little Pony GF4 was amazing, I want to see how they would do how Monster High GF4 would be like, because it must be either 3D or 2D, honestly. My bet is that it's going to be 3D animated or 2D animated, but I think I'm more on 2D, because GF4 My Little Pony was 2D animated, or it could be 3D like the GF5 of My Little Pony. So, who knows? I bet it's 2D, and I just hope it comes out in 2026 or 2027 or something like that. I hope so, because I hope that they will keep Monster High alive, honestly. But I also love the characters, I love the stories of episodes, and I think this overall show is just great. It's definitely number 11 on my list, honestly, when it comes to honorable mentions. This would have been close on the list if it had more seasons, and it would have been easily the king of I don't even know what the toy company's name is. I don't know what the toy company's name is. But hopefully, if they ever do GF4, I hope it premieres on Nickelodeon or Discovery Family, honestly. But I think Discovery Family would have been a better place, personally. But, oh well. Anyway, I think that's it for, I think that's it for, I think that's it for for my dishonorable mentions. So, we'll get into the top 10 now, basically. And number 10 is Kim Possible. Yes, I think Kim Possible is basically Danny Phantom, but just as great as that. Actually, Danny Phantom's number 9 on the list, actually. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But Kim Possible has just so many good episodes. And I think the first, all 4 seasons are amazing, honestly. Peak fiction for sure. And I think that they do a good job at, like, I think the specials are also pretty great here too. Sure, it has a TV movie, it has a crossover episode, and that's in the finale, but honestly, those are actually my 3 favorite episodes of the entire show, because they're all of them are extended length and they don't drag on for too long. Sort of like Danny Phantom. So Kim Possible, I'll keep it short, but I think Kim Possible is great, and I do like it, honestly. Fun fact: there's a YouTuber called I Love Kim Possible a lot, and I think she's a really cool YouTuber. Honestly, go subscribe to her if you haven't seen her yet. She has really good content. Anyway, what's number nine? Actually, no. Actually, next entry is not. Is it? No, actually, no. It's Jimmy Neutron. So sorry, I meant Danny Phantom number 8. So we'll get to Danny Phantom in a little bit, but we still have more to talk about when it comes to like the next entry. Number 9, Jimmy Neutron. Yeah, there's no surprise that this show is amazing as heck. I think the TV movies are the best episodes of the entire show, in my opinion. All of them are slapping hard, and they all are good. Even Kings of Mars is really good episode, honestly. But I wish half of them had TV video games because I think they would have worked good as a video game too. And also their own DVD releases because Jimmy Neutron, out of my favorite shows, Enzo's Favorite Appearance and Loud House, has the less DVDs than any of these other shows. And that's crazy to me because you have good money. Nickelodeon has money to port into the DVDs, but for some reason they don't want to do that, which is very weird to me. But I guess I can't expect too much because Nickelodeon is cheap as heck, and nowadays they don't even work on, and they just focus on their Nick Junior shows when it comes to DVD releases because the last DVD I think Paw Patrol has more DVD releases than SpongeBob right now, which is kind of crazy because SpongeBob used to have so many DVD releases coming out every single year, but for some reason in 2020 they decided to stop doing that, which is crazy to me. But I guess I can't. But I guess I can't say. But I guess I can't. I guess I can't really say too much because Well, and even back in the day, they kind of treated Jimmy Neutron kind of poorly when it comes to DVD releases because he didn't even get his proper season releases or even proper compilation DVDs when it comes to specials. Because I'm telling you, if they had specials based on the DVD, they had this episodes on the specials on DVD. I think that it would have worked a lot better. Same where it goes to Fairy Odd Parents too, but we'll get to Fairy Odd Parents in like a lot of minutes right now. But we'll talk about that when we get there, honestly, because this video will be very long, so expect more things to talk about. So yeah, Jimmy Neutron is a great show, and I wish it could get revived for a fourth season, or at least I'm thankful that they're doing a sequel not series sequel movie in 2027 or 2028 or 2026, I believe. If they release it in 2026, then I hope they release some information on it, or 2027, I believe, because it would be a perfect time to release it either during the 25th anniversary of Jimmy Neutron's first movie or the 25th anniversary of this show. So my prediction is that it will release in 2027 because that would be a great idea to do, honestly. So yeah, I'm excited, honestly. But they never released so much information on this movie too, so we'll have to wait. Anyway, um, anyway, anyway. Um, yeah, Jimmy Neutron is great, and I love the show. I love the show. Honestly, it's really good. I just wish it had more seasons, and I think it could have gone as long as Fairy Odd Parents. Honestly, went on so long like Fairy Odd Parents. Honestly, same with Fairy Odd Parents too. Actually, but we'll get there when we get there. I promise. Anyway, so yeah, Jimmy Neutron is great, and honestly, there's nothing else I can say about the show that has already not been said about this amazing show. Now let's go on to number 8, which is very similar to my number 10 spot, but has a lot more. But came out 2 years after 2002, and also was Butch Hartman's second show when it comes to like making it, which that show being Danny Phantom. Yes, I love Danny Phantom. This is definitely the most action packed. This definitely rivals uh 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 what was it again? Tough Puppy. But honestly, I never actually put it in the list. But if I ever do an update video based on this list, then Tough Puppy would easily be in my top 20, I believe, or my honorable mentions, I believe, because that show is amazing too. Both of these shows are very similar to each other, but I think Danny Phantom wins in this spot because I think this one has more substance, honestly. I'm not saying that Tough Puppy is not action filled, but honestly, I think Danny Phantom does it better, honestly. And definitely Butch Hartman's second best show when it comes to like humor wise and also action pack wise. But we'll get to Fair Out Parents in a few minutes, honestly. So, honestly, my favorite episode of the entire show is Ultimate Enemy, and so is Urban Jungle, and I think all the TV movies are actually my favorite episodes of the entire show, honestly, because all of them are really good episodes. All of them, all of the episodes, all these TV movies are just so good episodes, and they're definitely some of Nickelodeon's best TV movies I've ever seen from this network. Even though my favorite TV movie of any show is SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout from season 12 of SpongeBob. But we'll get to SpongeBob when we get there. Anyway. Yeah, I think Danny Phantom has a lot of good qualities. I think it has good animation, good stories, good writing, good humor, good comedy. Everything about the show is just great about it, honestly. Just a great show, and I do recommend watching it if you're a fan of any show like this. I forgot to put teenage. I was gonna originally put My Life as a Teenage Robot as number 10, but I think now I probably would put it in number 16 if I ever update this list, honestly, because there's still more shows I like in in the era of cartoons right now. Since 1999, I believe that's when shows peaked when it comes to like good cartoons and stuff. But we'll get there when we get there. I promise. Anyway, overall, I think Danny Phantom is great. It has a lot of good qualities, and okay, I repeated what I just said, but still, you know what I mean. This show is just great. I would have put Barnyard in this list, but honestly, I feel like if I update the list, I would put in my top 20, so we'll get there when we get there, I promise. We'll do that. We'll do that list when we update this, when we ever update the list, honestly. So yeah, overall, I absolutely love Danny Phantom. Great show. Should have lasted more seasons, and I think this show would have been awesome if it was. This would have been in my top five if it had more seasons and had more episodes. So yeah, as 3 seasons, I think it's great. But the third season's kind of mixed bag in my opinion. I think season 2 is better. But we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, now we have now we have number 7, which is Adventure Time, which has 10 seasons like Fairy Odd Parents, but also end 1 year after Fairy Odd Parents ended. Interesting. So, Adventure Time. What's that not been said about this show, honestly? This show is great. I love the animation, the story. I love the characters. I love the animation. I love the writing of the show, and so is the comedy too. And I think what makes it really good is also because it just has this like adventurous feel to it, like Paper Mario game styled. I know that sounds weird. I'm comparing it to Paper Mario, but the video games are very similar to Zelda, honestly, too, and Paper Mario for me. So, yeah, for a comparison at least. But yeah, Adventure Time is great. There's not much to really say about this one because I just really like this show, and I think I watched all 10 seasons, and I would say my least favorite season 6, but my favorite season is season 3 personally. So yeah, I absolutely love this show. This show is amazing, adventurous, and pretty charming to me. So yeah, overall, I like it. Now we get into the big ones of the video, the big top 6 of them. Dum bum 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 bum. Number 6, The Amazing World of Gumball. This show, man, actual peak fiction. This show proved to me that my top 6 are definitely unbeatable to beat, honestly. Because, man, oh man, Gumball really succeeds in the spot. I think what makes Gumball a great show to me is because of the creativity, the characters. I love the charm of it. I love the energy. I love everything about it. It reminds me a lot of SpongeBob SquarePants, which is kind of crazy to me, honestly. How can you make a show that's very similar to SpongeBob but make it so good, honestly? Just similar, but just amazing too. Sure, SpongeBob has better things though, improvements. It has better things and it has run for 26 years. Jeez. But I think this show just does a lot more for me. Or at least when it comes to like no. I think this show just does a lot of things that makes SpongeBob also appealing too. So yeah, I think also the theme song is great. I love it. Like I said, I love also the relationship of characters and the couples of of characters, and I just love the love stories that the shows does, and I just love. I think every episode. I think most of my favorite episodes are actually from season 5 of all seasons, because season 5 has the best stories of any Gumball season. Personally, well, my least favorite is probably like season 7 right now, but I think season 5 has the best stories, the best comedy, the best writing, and probably the best consistent characters of the entire show. I even prefer it over season 3 and 2, which I do think their seasons are I do think those seasons are not really as great as season 5 and 4 for me, because I think those seasons kind of suffer a little bit from characters feeling a little bit overright, or should I say, a little bit off about them. We'll talk about my favorite We'll talk about favorite seasons in the next video. Wow, 22 minutes, kind of like a Mount Pony episode and a SpongeBob special. But anyway, yeah, Gumball is great. It has a lot of good comedy, good characters, good writing, good charm, comedy. Like, everything about the show is great, and I think it's great. Let's move on to number 5, please. Number 5, Phineas and Ferb. Man, this show goes deeply hard. Sheesh, it is like Fairy Odd Parents to me, honestly. Because it just has like this good energy, good characters, good comedy, good presentation, and probably the best and probably good looking animation that I have seen in this series. And overall, I just like also the songs are probably the best part of the show, honestly. And so is the subplots too. Everything about the show is just great about it. And I think the specials are really good bangers. Each one of them slaps really hard because they're just really good specials. Except for Where's Perry, though. I don't like that episode. I thought it was okay at best, but mediocre at best. And probably my least favorite episode of season 3 or 4, I believe. I don't know where it came from, but probably season 4 or 3. But, that's, yeah, overall, Phineas and Ferb is great, and I overall enjoy the show. Little does people know that my next spot will be very weird because there's some people who split on the show, and people don't, and I've seen people who like the show. But we know what number. We haven't talked about the show on this channel before, but I'm pretty sure you guys should know what this show is. It's a show based around 10 siblings, one little brother, 2 parents, and that's it. Well, you guessed it. It's number 4, Loud House. This show, man. Like I said with every show on this list, it has creativity, good characters, consistent writing, or at least not always consistent writing, but still good writing, good comedy, good humor, good animation, and overall, it's just perfect when it comes to like personally for me. It also has emotional episodes that I really like. The morals are really good in the series. And overall, I just enjoy this show in general. I love the dynamic in this show because it just makes it feel lively and stuff. It makes it feel like actually, you know what? I noticed a pattern with like number 4 and 1 is that both of them have character dynamic, and I think both of them succeed in that category, honestly. And we all know what number 1 is, but I'm not gonna spoil it right now because like I said, I'm only gonna say SB honestly, but we know what number 1 will be. So, Loud House overall is a great show, despite its infamous episodes and how some people hate this show, like Ultimate Frozen fan. I cannot deny this show is great and I love it, honestly. I can't believe that Ultimate Frozen fan hates this show and he actually stopped watching Nickelodeon because of it, which is actually kind of his own fault because you can't really blame a show just because you don't like the show, honestly. It's how Nickelodeon orders it, honestly. Blame Nickelodeon for making that show. So, if that cuts you off from Nickelodeon, then that's on you, honestly. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's what my mom said, at least. My mom said that it's his own fault that he stopped watching Nickelodeon because of Loud House, honestly. So, yeah, I believe my mom, of course. Number 3 is Very Odd Parents. What has not been said about this masterpiece of a show? This show is amazing, has good characters, good writing, good consistent continuity, and overall has good morals, and I think this show has a lot of good elements in there. My favorite episode of Very Odd Parents in general is Wishology from season 6, because that feels like a good finale to already decent season. Even though I do think season 6 is okay at best, I do think a lot of the good episodes really save that season from being bad. And honestly, I think the good episodes outweigh the bad and okay episodes. And Wishology is the best episode of the entire show. No joke, I think it's the best one. Should have been the finale of the entire show, personally. And it should have been the show pretty strong, honestly. But no, season 7 had to exist. Season 7 through 10 had to exist, and the show got declined in quality, honestly. So yeah. Anyway, well, season 6 was kind of the start of the quality of the decline of quality, but I don't think that really got bad until season 9, personally. So yeah, overall, I think Fair Odd Parents is just a great show that has a lot of good characters, humor, writing, animation, and I just love the show. But number 2 is probably going to be the most famous one because it comes to like girl shows, because I feel like the show, we know that the show is based on around horses and ponies, but I feel like this show is very important to me, honestly, just like SB. So, as my number 1 my number 1 spot. So, number 2 is My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. What has not been said about this show? It's amazing, has good characters, humor, writing, animation. Everything about the show is just perfect. This would have been easily number 1 if it had more seasons, personally. But no, I think my number 1 spot just took that spot for me. But we all know what number 1 will be, because it's the one I talk about a lot on this channel. But we'll talk about My Little Pony first. See, My Little Pony has just too much that I just love about my number 1 and 2 spots, because they're both really good shows, and I really hope that my mom watches my number 2 spot, because I just love this show. I just love this show, and I don't even care. I don't care if I can't get My Little Pony merch because my mom says so. But honestly, I just enjoy watching this show because I like having fun. It's just fun to me, honestly. It's fun as number 1, personally. My number 1 spot. And honestly, Equestria Girls is not bad either. I really like Rainbow Rocks and Friendship Games. They're both really good movies that I really like. And I think that both of them succeed in their own way. So, overall, I think this is a 10 out of 10. Easily would have been number 1 if it had more seasons, but honestly, my number 1 spot will be easily the most been there, seen that moment of any of this video. So, let's come to this. My number 1 favorite show of all time It's Nah, I'm just kidding. It's SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants to me is just the most important show I can think of right now. It has a lot of things I love about all my entries on this list, animation wise. It's great. The show actually takes risk when it comes to animation, like CGI, stop motion, and other 3D and other stuff like that, like black and white. It takes like it has, and also I should mention this show just has the best range of like content of any of these shows, because they also experience a lot with they also experiment a lot with the runtime of episodes. Like for example, they do TV movies in this series and miniseries. And honestly, I can't stop talking about SpongeBob because this show is just too important to me. I just love everything about it, the characters, the animation wise, the humor, the comedy, the writing, the continuity. Well, not always continuity, but still not always good at continuity, but and also the movies too, and the merchandise and video games and DVD releases. Everything about the show is just amazing, honestly. And I have no problem declaring SpongeBob as my favorite show of all time and probably the best cartoon of all generation. I think this show is amazing, and I think people should watch it more. Even if some people don't watch SpongeBob anymore, I I implore you. Even the modern seasons are really good too, and some of the modern seasons are really good, especially season 11. Personally, so yeah, I overall enjoy SpongeBob SquarePants. It's the best show of any show. It has the best writing, the best characters, the best everything about the show is just the best of the best. So yeah, overall, I think SpongeBob is the best show as of right now, honestly. It has a lot of good animation wise, just a lot of good character wise, humor wise, animation wise, and even the best continuity wise, honestly. Well, at least inconsistent stuff, imagine. And overall, I think it also has the best episodes of any show, honestly. All my favorite episodes are here in this series. And Big Birthday Blowout is the best episode of SpongeBob, in my opinion. I just love Big Birthday Blowout. It's just a great episode that has a lot of good jokes. It feels like a TV movie that does well, and I think it's overall the best SpongeBob episode of my opinion. Yes, even better than Band Geeks. You can fight me as you will. So I don't care because I love Band Geeks too, but I love Big Birthday Blowout more. Even I love it more than the first movie actually too. So that's surprising. So, what's my overall thoughts on my top 10 picks of of my favorite shows? I think I picked out really good choices because I think most of them are really loved by fans, and I think most of them are pretty loved by you guys too. So that's actually it for this video because I'm actually going to upload another one probably today. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you guys subscribe to my channel because I'm trying to reach 1 million subscribers. Cartoon Retro Boys out.